gonna be from Teza west, that stretch there?
That's what I would assume. I think they're using it to get from Tall to
230th?
I don't think there's much use on it at all.
we have that little path between Main Road to that Teza road. Gotcha.
Okay, I'd like to call the Ellis County Commission meeting to order. Can we all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Bobby, if you could call roll, please.
Commissioner Nathan Liker,
Here?
Chair Neil Younger,
Present.
and we have a quorum.
Order of business should stay the same. You had a chance to look at the minutes?
Minutes look good.
Okay. How about the consent agenda?
Looks good. I'll move to approve consent agenda items A through G.
Okay, I'll second that. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Issues from people that are not on the order of business? Justin?
I'm Justin Scheck, the Vice President of Ellis County Fair Board. I'm just here this morning to thank you guys for everything you do for us out at the fairgrounds, inviting you guys out. I think Darren gave you guys some tickets to come out. It's the 15th through the 22nd. You guys come out. We'll let you sit in the VIP area if you want to. Come out and see what Chris has done for us out at the racetrack. I think he's doing a super job out there. And that's about it. I just want to invite you guys out so you can come out and see what all we've done.
Thank you, Justin.
Yeah,
You
thank
guys-
Forward to it.
Thank you. Okay, anyone else? Okay, the 30 by 30.
Hang on,
Oh.
Neil.
I'm sorry. Oh, here he comes. Okay.
Yep.
Didn't see him.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Darrell Domi, and I'm here representing my brothers in Dale Strema about a road, or used to be a cow path, whatever it is, on the west edge of Pfeiffer, Kansas. We have the property adjacent on the south side. Dale Strema has the property adjacent on the north side of this cow path. And it's no longer maintained, and we're just wishing to get it vacated to where we could clean it up, and it isn't like either one of us are going to gain any major property, but we're just trying to clean it up so it looks decent, and also so we don't lose 10 foot with grasshoppers and everything else on either side.
Okay.
I don't know, and I think Dale thought it was referring Jacobs Road, I think is what it is. I can't tell you exactly.
And Jacobs. Darren, you want to pull that up?
Yeah, we've got it right there.
Is
You
that the one?
caught me off guard when you called yesterday morning that we're supposed to come in today.
No problem.
That section there?
Yes, that's there. That's that line there.
Okay.
Okay? Anything else?
We appreciate you coming here, and
Appreciate you
Okay,
coming.
thanks for the consideration, and you guys get back with us, or how's that work?
Yes, we'll start the public process of vacating it.
Okay, thanks.
thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
Mr. Chairman, I'll visit with Darren and figure out exactly what we need to do. We've done it before,
Okay,
and we'll get it on an agenda in the future.
okay, all right, very
Okay.
good. Thanks, Bill.
Thank you.
Okay, now we're going to 30 by 30 land.
My name is Angel Cushing. I came to you from Allen, Kansas. I wanted to thank you, Ellis County, for passing the resolution against the Kansas-Nebraska Heritage Area Partnership. I wanted to update you. They pulled back, they went away, they disappeared. They did not announce that they're no longer going to pursue a national heritage area, but they are no longer pursuing a national heritage area by any means that we could find. We're trying to compel the Kansas legislature to get involved. We'd like for them to have a vote on national heritage areas before they are approved in the state of Kansas. That can be done. They are a federal organization. They solicit Congress. However, the state can deny them funds, and 50% of their fundraising is through state organizations. Freedom's Frontier National Heritage Area on the eastern side of Kansas is a perfect example of that. 50% of their funds is from county and state. So I am asking here, I'm here today to ask you to pass a resolution against 30 by 30. I don't want to eat up all of your time, so I brought homework for you to consider. So I'll just hand it to you. Thank you. So what 30 by 30 is an executive order by President Biden to lock up 30% of the United States into public preservation or in permanent preservation by the year 2030. I would like to tell you that it's been there. The laws are in place, most of them in 1987 in the Organic Act. What this is to me is Buffalo Commons, the first time an administration has confessed to wanting to covet property. So I'm asking you to pass a resolution against 30 by 30 to send a clear message to the state legislature to get involved. There are things that they can do to protect property owners here in the state of Kansas. In that paperwork, you're going to find a map of trails that are coming through. As far as I can see, Ellis County is not yet a target. It's going to be this sheet here. So you'll see the Kansas-Nebraska Heritage Area Partnership. You'll see the Freedom's Frontier National Heritage Area that's already in there, and you'll see how the trails come up through that. So once those trails go in, they become leverage. If you'll notice, there's an awful lot of congressional districts there. They go through to Congress, they get a congressman, in this case, Ron Estes, Jake LaTurner, and Sharice Davis, all Kansas representatives were talked into introducing this legislation for these trails. Once they go in, they become leverage, and on the bottom of that sheet is a couple of examples of leverage, of once the law goes in, they start using that to expand. Is eminent domain a possibility? Absolutely yes. The Appalachian Trail on the East Coast is one of the first trails that went in, and so far they have eminent domained more than 400 properties. So once they go in and they're approved by Congress and they're told to Congress that it's just naming a road, everything is fine, no problem. Once that is done, they then start going back to Congress and leveraging for more regulations and eventually eminent domaining that property. So I'm asking you to pass a resolution against 30 by 30, perhaps another one for trails, or combine them both together. My favorite resolution template is on page 6 in that workbook. It's one sheet and very, very small. You have an example from Chase County there, which was the first Kansas county that passed a resolution in the state against 30 by 30. There's a sheet there with a whole bunch of red dots. That's all the counties that have passed resolutions against 30 by 30. There are about 20 in the state of Kansas so far. So I'm asking Ellis County to join in on that. If you have any other questions, I will be happy to take them. Otherwise, I will leave you with the paperwork and let you do the homework.
Mr. Jeter, if we pass a resolution, what in fact does the resolution provide protection-wise for our county for things like this?
None. You have no authority to regulate private property owners and what they can or can't do with their property.
He is correct. However, I would argue that on behalf of any landowner that's currently being squeezed, it is cheap, easy eyewitness testimony in behalf of any law. I mean, they can stand up there and say, Your Honor, my county said this. For the state level representatives, It's working. For some reason, all of our phone calls across the state really isn't getting the attention of the state legislators, but these resolutions are. So there has been a hearing in December of 2021 on this issue. There's another one scheduled for this summer to entertain laws that help reinforce private property. And this is a clear message that says we're paying attention. On the trails, there again, you have no authority over the federal government. What I can do is take that resolution, attach it to the feasibility study, send it up to the Natural Resources Commission in Congress, so that every time it gets introduced to become a trail, they know there's opposition. You should know that these companies lie to Congress. We discovered in the Freedom of Information request of Kansas-Nebraska Heritage Area Partnership that they'd been lying for 5 years before they told any member of the public. And in their minutes, they specifically say, well, when should we let the public know? And they say, well, not now. So they had another 2 years before the feasibility study. They would have put it under the table. Nobody would even knew. I sat down with Mr. Ron Wilson, the legislative liaison for the Chisholm Trail for this legislation, and he asked me, what would be acceptable for you? And I said, notify every landowner. Every door direct mail is wonderful. Post office people are great. If you can raise the money for the feasibility study, you can raise the money to notify every single landowner along that trail and let them know that their property is about to become a National Park Service unit. They won't do it because they know it's not popular. So awareness is very, very key. Those resolutions help with that considerably.
Okay. Thank you. We'll entertain it.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Mike Smith with the Opioid Settlement Committee.
Good morning.
Morning.
Mike Smith, District Court Administrator. Coming today to ask that we put together a committee for the opioid settlement funds, for distribution of those funds. There's a long list of uses and remediation for those funds that we can use. I brought it today. There's 16 pages of different uses for those funds. Well, I think drug court's probably a great use, and I'd like to build up some of those funds to use as a contingency if we run out of grant money for drug court funds. There's some other uses I think that can be used for that for different agencies, such as sheriff's office, first responders of any kind, schools, any kind of prevention techniques for opioid settlements or opioid uses. There's just a long list of different uses that it can be used for, and it's county money. I don't know that I should be solely in charge of that. I'd like to have a committee to make sure that we're following the guidelines of the lawsuit, to make sure that they're being used the way that they're supposed to be used, and that we're putting them to good use. I think it's great to have those funds. I just don't want to be the sole, gatekeeper of those. So I'd just like to put a committee together, and I proposed a committee of myself, Darren, and Scott Brown. I spoke to each of them. I think that's a sufficient number of people. I put together a sign-up sheet, or basically a request form for people to, if they have a request that they would like to do, they can submit that to the committee. We can look it over, make sure that it meets the abatement criteria, make sure that it fits into, uses that we want to use it for, because ultimately this is your money, and we want to make sure that it's put to good use for these things. Again, I would like to make sure at some point drug court is still taken care of with this if we need it to be, but right now we're really well funded with drug court with our grant money for the next 3 years at least. This opioid money is going to be coming in for, I think I was told 20 years. We'll be getting a substantial, mixed values of checks coming in, 2 to 3 checks a year for 20 years. So I want to make sure that money is well taken care of and that it's put to good use for this. And I think a committee is probably the better way to do that.
Sounds responsible to me. Darren or Scott, you have any comment on that?
You chose a good committee. You get some good people, so, yep. I like it. I like the idea, Mike.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay. I'll move to create an opioid funds committee and appoint Court Administrator Mike Smith, County Administrator Darren Myers, and Sheriff Scott Brown to lead in the dispersal of those funds.
And I'll second that. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. Okay, Mr. Mike Liker with the backup server. We're in a new world, huh?
It's a brave new world. Mike Liker, Ellis County IT Director. As you know, March of last year, we went live with the New World, Tyler New World Public Safety Solution countywide. It services all public safety agencies. And when we purchased that system, largely with ARPA funds, I believe, we opted not to do the backup piece of that, mostly because of cost, I think. But so the solution to backing that up was to integrate that in with our current county backup solution. That was a stopgap measure to make sure that we were being backed up. But our backup solution was never sized to take on that additional data. It can, but as the years go by, that solution will continue to grow, servicing that many public safety agencies and having the records management. As you know, all of that data just accumulates and grows, and we never get rid of it. But so it's been our intention all along to create a backup solutions geared specifically for the New World solution. That solution, the New World solution, was built as a standalone, kind of as an island. It's its own network. All the agencies enter into that network from their own networks. And so it makes sense to keep the backup solution within that network as well. I went out and solicited bids for hardware and software to provide that backup solution. And what I came up with was the Dell EMC. It's a Dell product, but it's being sold by Abtech Technologies. It is a complete solution that would provide backups at least twice daily, as well as weekly backups, and a third, what we call an air-gapped backup, which is a backup that we back up the data to it, and then we remove that data so that it can't be infiltrated because it's physically removed from the network. So this solution would provide all of that and provide peace of mind so that we know that all the data is safe and secure. And the second duty that this system will provide is in the event that our primary dispatch center is needing to be vacated for whatever reason, some sort of hazard or disaster or whatever, we would have a backup system that we could operate from. And this solution will provide that platform as well, so that we can continue operations with the New World system. So that's the quick and dirty in a nutshell. The price, I guess I didn't mention that, the price of this solution is from Abtech Technologies is $49,701.80. And I would stand for any questions.
So the second quote that's in here is from Dell directly.
Yes.
Why is this? Any thought on the discrepancy?
Sometimes it happens that way. Usually you can get a better price going direct, but sometimes you can get a reseller. Most hardware and providers don't really like to sell direct. They usually prefer to go through resellers. That way they don't have to handle the setup and all that kind of stuff. The resellers usually offer that assistance along with it, as does Abtech. So it's kind of an anomaly. Usually you get a better deal going with the vendor directly, but sometimes it works out that way. You go through a reseller. Much of our software solutions are like our antivirus and security solutions are starting to go that way as well. We don't buy as much directly from the vendor anymore.
Gotcha. Now, this Abtech Technologies, have you dealt with them in the past?
No.
Okay. I'm assuming that they're a secure dealer to deal with what we're working on.
Yeah, they have provided me with a list of their
Credentials?
Credentials, yes. So I haven't gotten any indication to the contrary, that they are not a reputable source. They've been very helpful with me building this solution. All indications are that they are a solid company, so.
Okay, and they'll be there to help get it up and online and going?
Yes.
Okay. I guess one last question. This is all part of our backup dispatch program or that we've been building for the past several years.
Yeah, it's an integral component of that, yes. It will go in the same location where the equipment that we're currently putting in for the backup dispatch is kind of doing, it's all kind of intertwined, but yes, it is part of that solution.
Okay.
So,
And then, like he had said, they do have a support system in case?
yes.
Okay.
Yes,
and
they
then-
have assured me that when the equipment ships, the next phone call will be to them to set it up, to configure it, install it, and all of that. So it'll all be over the phone or over Zoom or something like that. I'm sure they won't send somebody from California, but yeah, they have assured me that there are setup included.
How fast will this take effect? I mean, when we approve, if we approve it, then,
In their quote, they said 4-week delivery.
okay.
That's assuming there are no supply chain issues. Servers haven't been too bad, especially this type of system. I don't anticipate it. It should get here within 4 weeks, and then we'll probably have another 2-3 weeks of setup and configuration, depending on what else is going on. But hopefully we can get that. And rest assured, we are backing it up, so it's not like we're crossing our fingers. It is being backed up, but it is a good plan to get it off of the rest of the county backup. So,
Will this solution be enough? What's the longevity of it? I mean, because like you said, the more we back up, the more we're going to have to back up. Our data is going to keep growing. Is this a 10-year solution or a 15-year solution or a 5-year solution?
very few things in my world are beyond 5 years. It's hard to go 5 years. I plan this to be a 5-year solution.
Okay.
We'll have to upgrade the hardware, and at that point, we can assess the storage capacity and upscale if we need to. We don't really know exactly how fast the data will grow, but my anticipation is that it will grow exponentially. So this is sized to get us through 5 years.
Okay.
So I'm not too worried about that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I move to approve PO 7733 in the amount of $49,701.80 for the data protection solution from Abtech Technologies.
I will second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. Mike, thank you.
Thank you. I just add one thing Darren reminded me. In the room that we're building this into, it currently does not have power or HVAC. So we probably won't turn it on until it's cooled in that room because it's a concrete vault, more or less. So that could delay the go live for this hardware, but
Oh, okay.
just depends when that HVAC system is installed. So
Understandable.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Scott Brown, the taser purchase.
Good morning, Commissioners. Scott Brown, Ellis County Sheriff. I'm sure you had an opportunity to review the documentation that was sent. I stand before you today to talk about the purchase of 6 tasers for our detention facility. Like anything else, tasers have a life expectancy, whether it's components or the company stops supporting them. And in this particular case, that's where we're coming. We've got about 2 more years. Our current tasers for our detention officer are 8 to 10 years, depending upon when we purchased them. Life expectancy is 10 years, and they're going to start phasing that out. They're just not going to repair those tasers currently within. This taser that we're talking about is the Taser 7, which offers a few more things than our current one does. And I started in the jail because that is really the only defensive weapon that they have that they're allowed to carry within, unlike our guys on our road, are certified on the road. This allows not only a close deployment or a more distant one, so it has cartridge. The cartridge holds 2 different deployment possibilities, which allows them to get distance. It also allows them so they don't have to reload. Currently, our current tasers, if they deploy one, they have to reload another one to fire another one. So that gives them that extra step in safety. I'm suggesting that we go with the Taser 7. So what we did is I'm proposing that we negotiated with them for some time. I didn't really like their price, so we continued to negotiate with them. And we got them to do a 60-month for us, but we're going to make one installment if approved payment, which they will honor that for 5 years. And what that does is we were able to get ourselves a training suit for the new tasers. Which it's a different taser cartridge for training. They'll provide taser training cartridges for that 60 months. And we recertify every year. And currently, when we recertify all of our road as well as our detention officers, that costs us about $2,500 to recertify for training cartridges. So that will be a savings also because it's within this package here. And then it comes with a 5-year warranty, so if we have one that breaks, we can send it and it's repaired for nothing. So I'm asking, and this is kind of a unique situation in the sense that I'm asking the funds to be removed from a donation fund that was given to the Sheriff's Office at the beginning of the year by Jack Samples, who died in 2023. And he donated some money to the Sheriff's Office as well as other departments, and Darren had spoken about that. And so I'm asking to use those funds to offset the cost from the general as well from the capital. And we're really appreciative to Mr. Samples for doing that, and it will be of good use.
Okay. Scott, how many hours annually do the individuals that carry the tasers spend training on them?
We're required to certify once a year, and that's what we do. At the cost of $2,500, it's a big hit to the department, and we really actually don't have many deployments. In the jail, we may have maybe 3 to 5 in a year's time total. And our road guys, which they're not receiving the Taser 7s at this point in time, that will be down the road that we look at that. They deploy even less. The situation in the jail is volatile at times, and sometimes they have to use them. So, but they use great restraint.
Do they, is it $2,500 per person or per cartridge?
No, it's $2,500 for the total package that the number of cartridges we need to get everybody certified.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, no.
Oh, okay.
No. Yeah, that would break, that's why, you'd see a line item of about $50,000 in order to do that. So we've had really good luck with them. We've looked at other platforms, but all of our current ones, the system that we use, it's all tied in together, so everything's recorded on the same system. If we were ever to consider changing that platform, it would be significant dollars that we would end up paying for that. So, and we're pleased with them. We've had really good luck with them.
Okay.
Only thing I have is thanks to Mr. Jack.
Yes.
Samples and he knows we're talking about it. So
Yes.
What a great deal. So,
Okay. Well, and I think you do have a volunteer for training. If Darren has expressed it.
I was wondering why
The protective training suit that he's referring to is a firefighter full of bunker gear.
So, okay, well, I'll move to approve the purchase of 6 tasers, training suit, and cartridges for a total of $19,848.05 from Axon Enterprise Incorporated from the Ellis County Sheriff's Office Donation Fund 158221367.
I will second that. Okay.
Okay.
And we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you,
Motion
Commissioners.
approved. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Scott. Okay, Darren, emergency management.
Brendan's next.
Brendan.
Oh, I'm sorry, Brendan, yep, with the bridge system program agreement.
Brendan McKay, Ellis County Public Works Director. I'll be quick for you. So a few months back, you signed the 1302 form with KDOT, which is basically us agreeing to accept the award for the off-system bridge grant that we were awarded. Once we've signed that, turned that in, they start doing what they call project programming. Once they finish their program, they come up with this contract. It's a 16-page document. It's the same one, just different locations that the county signed in the past. So if you'd like to continue going forward with this project, we've already committed saying we are. This is the last step before we can do the design work and solicit bids. And I'll be back again at that point in time to have a PO for in front of you and select a contractor, which will be looking at the March 2024 letting at this point in time.
So that would be like a March 2024 start date, or?
Potentially. That's one, unfortunately, there's a lot of bridges that are being built now, but not a lot of contractors that are able to build them. So the state has had to push out some of their award dates to give them 3 years of construction time. This bridge is a 2-3 month bridge project, but just to get it in people's schedules, some of them are being pushed out 2 to 3 years before completion date. The hope would be, with March, it'd be able to be done in the same year.
Okay.
But until a contractor, it goes out to bid and a contractor's selected, I can't tell you when. There will be some additional right-of-way coming forward. I'll have to come before you on to get approval on for construction easements and additional right-of-way when the bridge is reconstructed at the end for permanent easements, because it's going to be a much larger structure. Going from a 50-foot bridge to a 180-foot bridge, we'll need about 20 feet of additional right-of-way. So some trees are going to have to be removed from the one homeowner that's there. We spoke with them last Thursday when we met on site for the field check. So they're aware of that, and we'll keep them in touch with them and as the project moves along to make sure that we don't need to change things at the last minute.
Okay.
Okay, are we going to build a shoe fly around it, or are we gonna close the? and have a detour?
Unfortunately, there's no good way for a shoe fly there.
Okay,
It's that stream, it still has water running in it. It had water running in it this entire drought. There must be some good springs in there. The amount of water that comes through there, if you take a look down it, you'll see the landowners have put concrete rubble on all the banks, and in some cases buried old automobiles to try and armor the bank, just because the amount of water that comes through there. If we got a rain like we did last night, which was heavy at times, but not the most we've ever seen, the shoe fly would be washed away.
Okay.
You've got steep hills on both sides, so a shoe fly doesn't quite fit the bill there.
okay, very good. That should give everybody adequate time to
Yeah.
heal, and, because they're gonna have to go around, so, okay.
Okay. Well, I'll move to approve and sign the KDOT agreement for the project number 26C 5221-01 for the off-system bridge program.
And I'll second that. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Brendan.
you.
Also did have one other question.
Sure.
Mr. Fisher with the Ellis County Free Fair over there in Ellis, he asked if the county would be willing to donate 6 loads of sand, just dumped out there. They'll spread it on their own roads. I felt it was best if I came before commission and asked for that approval, because
I don't have a problem with it. They're gonna spread it. That's pretty easy, just
Okay.
take and
The
dump it.
county's
and-
done that in the past. I just wanted,
Okay.
Yeah,
Good deal.
I have no problem with that.
okay.
Yeah, go ahead and
All
move
righty, well,
forward
we'll
on
do that
that.
then.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks,
Thank you,
Brennan.
Brendan.
Now, Mr. Darren, with emergency management.
Morning, Commissioners. Darren Myers, Director of Fire and Emergency Management. Before you this morning, I wanted to make an introduction for a kind of new opportunity for the Ellis County Fire Department. Yeah, he's sitting back there. The Kansas Fire and Rescue Training Institute is the statewide training agency for all the fire departments around the state of Kansas to become certified, different certification levels in the fire service. As there's been more push with KFRTI to instill more training in the western part of Kansas, KU has made the effort to create a new position within their organization for a Western Kansas training coordinator. It's a new position within their organization. One of our firefighters applied for the position, and he was granted that position. It just started a couple weeks ago, about a month ago maybe. But Mr. Lucas Everett is one of our firefighters at Company 5. He did accept the job with KU and will be training throughout the state. And one of the discussions that I had with Mr. Everett and with the director of KU, or their interim director, was he was needing an office space to be able to work out of. And one of their other positions that they have out in Goodland, that firefighter actually works out of their fire station, and he's allowed to respond during the day to fire calls. And they made that same agreement with us, that when Lucas is here in town, not out around the state doing some training, that he would be able to respond just as we would have a third full-time firefighter on staff. So as the commission knows, the daytime hours is usually the lightest turnout that we have on the firefighters because of their full-time jobs. They pay a lot better than we do. So they don't get to respond as often. And as, like I said, if Lucas is available, he'll be able to respond with us, and we'll be almost to be able to, if need be, put a truck out almost immediately if we're all three there during the daytime hours. KU has provided him a desk, all the IT access, computers, laptops, phones, and all that. And we do have a space in the newly renovated fire meeting room downstairs that Company 5 has agreed to let him use that for. And so there'll be essentially no cost to the county for this, and it's completely paid for and funded by the Kansas Fire and Rescue Training Institute. So it's really a unique opportunity. It's good for the county for emergency response. Lucas has been on our county fire department for several years, and he's also an EMT, so it'll be able to help out there as well. But Lucas is here. I told him I'd make him come up here and introduce himself, but he did prepare about a 15-minute speech for you. But I just
Exception, huh?
Right.
wanted to make sure that it was okay with the county commissioners before we dedicated that space to them. And
I'm Lucas Everett with KFRTI, the Western Training Coordinator. And I think Darren pretty much said everything. I just think this is a good opportunity for both agencies to utilize space and help each other out. Do you have any questions?
Just comment, thank you for doing that. Like I say, that will help us out.
I appreciate having the space. It makes it easy for me, and I can't wait to work together.
Okay, thanks,
Thank you,
Lucas.
appreciate it. I have no problems with that, Darren.
I don't either. Yep. It's all air conditioned, ready to go, so.
well, not in his office. We turned it off.
Oh, he's got, he's got to suffer.
He's the first one with the suit for Scott.
Yep. First one in line after me. I do appreciate the support for this, and I think it'll be a good joint effort moving forward. So thank you.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Darren, you're still up. Commission or
Administrator.
administrator report?
I really don't have a whole lot. I just want to mention that I will try to get with each of you maybe this afternoon, if not tomorrow. As you know, next week we have the budget hearings with all the department heads on Tuesday, a special meeting that'll last throughout the entire day. So this afternoon, maybe, if I cross my fingers, I'll have them all done, printed out, and put together, and I might try to reach out to you to deliver to you the budget book, so that way you have a full week to review what you've already seen, but kind of separate it out into all the departments and capitals, projects and all that. So I will try to get in touch with you, but that's all I got.
Okay. County Commission report? Mr. Liker?
I have nothing other than I've been around the county and seen a number of issues from the short bursts of rain that we've had, which is not gonna dog the rain, but it creates a whole new set of problems, so.
Yes, it does.
But our crews are out there working on it, and we had some phone calls with some other individuals, so look forward to seeing that come through.
Okay, I guess my report, I did attend City Hayes workshop last Thursday. It was a pretty lengthy one, but a lot of information. And then I did also attend the Shenshin meeting last night, and there was some discussion there, and they all appreciated the fact that we're putting that blacktop in clear to the bridge, so keep our roads up and move forward. And I'd like to thank everybody that attended today, so, and everybody stay cool today and have a good rest of the day. And there will be no executive sessions, so adjournment is at 9:11.